Let's talk to Justin Urquhart Stewart, because it turns out that Ofgem this morning, breaking news, have raised the energy price cap, which means energy prices are going up, which means everything else is going to go up, which means inflation is going to go up. It means that your weekly shop is going to be more expensive. It means every time you go down the pub, it's going to be more expensive. Every time you look around to buy anything, it's going to be more expensive. So once again, Rachel Reeves, or Richard III, as we like to call her, has completely made a complete wreck of the economy. How is it possible that she's even still in the job? Justin, a very good morning to you.
Good morning. Excellent programme, very funny.
I mean, I'm sorry, I can't say anything positive about this economy. I can't say anything positive about Rachel Reeves. What happened to Miliband and his promise that we were going to get 300 quid off our energy bills? Let's have a look at what he said, shall we?
This was based on independent modelling, which is what we used in the election, that said that bills would be up to £300 lower in a clean power system. And what I was going to say, Naga, this is really, really important, is we now have the National Energy System Operator, the independent body that has looked at these plans and says it's achievable, which is really important. It gives us energy security, it will lower the cost of electricity, and it can lead to lower bills.
It can lead to... Why is he wearing a high-vis vest? So that you can see him in the dark, you know, when you haven't got any power, because it's all been cut off because you can't afford it anymore. How about Keir Starmer? Maybe he's got an idea of whether the energy bills are going down.
Now, clean British power is, renewables, which is about a third of the price of fossil fuels at the moment. And that ought to bring down the household bills by about £400 for each bill, but that's a permanent drop. This is the big difference, I think.
I mean, are these people just inveterate liars? Are they stupid? Do they not know what the actual reality is? Prices are going up, right?
And prices are going up, and it's going to be effect of the primary driver of our economy, known as, well, you and me, the consumer. 65% of our economy is based on service economy, primarily the consumer economy. So if I'm having to pay out more, we're having to pay out more for our electricity, that's going to directly, negatively impact on it. And fundamentally, it's not just a matter of the price cap and things like that. The actual design of our power system, and the bit that no one ever talks about, is the national grid, which hasn't been invested in properly for years. So we are producing more power. We're even producing actually quite cost-effective power, some of the wind power is, but we can't get it from now out of the North Sea, or wherever it happens to be, down to the key areas of use further down in England, because the grid can't take it. So we've actually got a system where we've managed to make ourselves 20% more expensive than Europe in terms of running businesses. So it's hardly surprising people like British Steel and similar say, well, why should we set up business here when the fundamental cost of starting your business means I'm already down minus 20%. I could go anywhere else, right, and I'll get an extra bonus.
But that's the problem, isn't it? Because everything is affected by the price of energy, and everything in terms of inflation is affected by the price of energy. So this will presumably only lead to more inflation. We saw yesterday that food inflation was up to 4.2%, up on the other 4% that happened in July. So the month of August, it's gone up again. So effectively, it's doubled. And people know that they're paying at least 10% to 20% more for everything they buy in the shops. And the energy price is going to hike all of that even more, isn't it?
It is indeed. Now, look at those things on food, for example. Because we're producing less, we're having to import more, and therefore that's costing us more because of what's been happening with the currency. But of course, in the UK, you can add the issue of a climate. Unless, of course, we're all going to start eating strawberries the entire time, we're going to find ourselves somewhat stuck. Yeah. So again, fundamental infrastructure, we are producing the right things in the right way. So whether it's power or whether it's food, these are all interconnected. Where is the plan, as opposed to the knee-jerk reaction, we'll make this cheaper, as you say, stand in a high-vis jacket with a hard hat on, and you're obviously doing something which is standing strong for the economy. No, there are key things that could be done straight away which do not incur extra government expenditure. Enterprise investment schemes and similar elements which give people tax incentives to pump money into the economy. We've got no shortage of money in this country, but someone's been mucking around with the plumbing. So we need to get the money from the savers and the investors actually through to business businesses, particularly smaller company businesses who are, of course, the largest employer in this country.
Yes.
And that's where our future lies.
Well, maybe we should check in with the head of GB Energy, you know, the man who's been put in charge of basically harnessing the world's energy into Britain, a man by the name of Jürgen Meyer. I don't know if you've come across this guy before, but he runs GB Energy. Basically the only employee. I think they've hired one other person, and it's supposed to be the future, and it's supposed to be the answer to everything. Have a look.
It will help bring energy prices down.
When?
Well, it's a matter for government and policy to decide.
But as the boss of this, and as someone who is driving forward the ambition of the government, you surely have an idea in your head of when that central pledge to the people of reducing their bills by £300 will come into action.
It is not in the remit of Great British Energy to work out exactly how that energy costing gets through to the consumer.
So apparently it's not in the remit of Great British Energy as to how much energy costs. What is their remit exactly?
Well, what they should be doing is laying out a plan. That's what they're there to do, to actually say, right, this is how we develop our energy, whether you like green or not. It's a matter of having a blend of all these things. We've just been incredibly slow to do it, and also have it keeps on coming up, that awful phrase, joined up thinking. But it really is. If you were running a household, you have to make sure you can afford your power. You actually want telephone systems to work. It's not about trying, well, I think we'll do without electricity this month. We'll just focus on gas. It's not going to work like that.
I think maybe they hook Jürgen up to the mains, and they can maybe power the sort of half the grid off of the oil that he's got in his hair.
Well, actually, when you look at a shirt like that, I'm afraid that's socially embarrassing. You can't have that. You can't rent anything like that.
No.
Mind you, I'm no model for it, but nonetheless.
No. I mean, absolutely shocking stuff. Absolutely brilliant to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Justin Urquhart Stewart there, a proper economist who may or may not have gone to the London School of Economics to study economics like Rachel Reeves did, because she's also an economist who works at the Bank of England as an economist.